Hey everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome back. We are here for the semifinals of the LCQ, the last chance qualifier to get into the Invitational here at War Machine Weekend, and the big Invitational starting tonight.
And we're down to the top 4 now.
Yep, we're in the semifinals. We're going to be having David Smith versus Michael Stone. I'm Will Hungerford. This is Lyle Lowry. We'll be your commentators for this match. Let's go through their list real fast as they're starting their deployment, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Michael Stone is playing Circle Orboros, and he is using Bradagus. He's got Bradagus. His battle group is 3 Wold Guardians, 3 Wold Watchers, and 2 Wold Whites. He's also got 2 units of Sentry Stones, 2 units of Shifting Stones, a Wayfarer, 3 Stone Shapers, and the Chef.
Yep, and he's in the Bones of Ouroboros theme force.
Yeah, that's correct.
He's facing off against David Smith playing Primal Terrors. He's running Thagrosh 1 with a Blightbringer and Golab in his battle group. He's also got Amok attached to Thagrosh. He's running a Warmonger War Chief, 2 Hellmouths, 3 units of Warmongers, all max, and Gorag is attached to one of them. This is the semifinals, so the winner of this is going to go into the finals to fight the winner of Jacob Wilstrup versus Sam, who played in the last match.
Right.
So we'll see who wins that one after Sam barely survived an assassination against Dan Yunt with his Mosar.
So scenario, they are playing Mirage this round. Is that correct?
Yep, Mirage is one of the new scenarios in SR 2018. It has everything you can have outside of a rectangular zone. You got 2 circular zones, 3 flags, 2 objectives, normal scoring. You know what's going on.
That's right. Everything except for the square zone, so that makes it kind of interesting because that's kind of a staple for most of the scenarios out there. Well, you got some that are just double circles. But
Yeah. So you're looking at only scoring with infantry, solos on the flags, and of course the caster can score whatever they want to. We've got no huge base casters in this, so nobody's going to be able to like really hold 2. Huge base casters can sit on that central flag and also sit in one of the zones and score 1 if they want to, but that doesn't mean they are dead center in the middle of the table and are usually dead.
Usually dead.
Yeah, usually dead. So let's talk about their list for a little bit. This Primal Terrors has been a bit of a terror in the meta lately. It's definitely one of the meta lists you see going around. You've got your Slayer spam, you've got your new Primal Terrors, usually with Animag, but with some of the updates that happened, this is a big, beefy list that is just going to jam. I mean, Hellmouths are excellent zone control. They're going to be able to really contest and just fend off anybody who gets close. 3 units of Warmongers under Gorag. You're going to have all the defensive buffs brought to you by the Blightbringer and Thagrosh, keeping them alive. When the Blightbringer happens to go down, Thagrosh 1's feat is going to bring it right back to life. Golab has excellent reach and can really take out a heavy, especially if it's taking any sort of damage. And the rest of it's just pretty basic support.
Yep. And I really like Bradagus in general as a warlock for Circle. He's got a lot of board control elements. He's got his feet that'll let you shift the table a little bit. He's got some shifting stones to make up for some of the speed deficits that you deal with when you're dealing with constructs. And he's got synergy to give his guys a little bit more punch, which those stone guys kind of need.
It's going to be really good. Twitch chat, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube later, we do stream live at twitch.tv/privateerpress. We're streaming right now. Was asking the other matchup, what is the other game that's happening? What is the factions? Jake is playing, Jacob Wilstrup is playing Signar, and Sam is playing Scorn. So Signar v. Scorn. I don't know what their casters are because we've been watching this match. I'm not sure who they picked. They are in the middle of their game. If I get any news from it, we'll let you know. So we've got Legion, Circle, Scorn, and Signar. No minions to be found in the top 4.
No minions.
So I don't care. So we are in deployment currently. Getting the boys set up, see what they're getting ready to do. And sorry, I did misspeak. You know, we've got dev brain sometimes. The Thagrosh 1's feat is that you can only bring larger, smaller, smaller. You can't bring the Blightbringer back. I caught myself. Specifically, return 1 destroyed large base or smaller war beast that was part of the battle group. So Blightbringer's not coming back. Sorry, don't destroy me in the comments. I make mistakes sometimes. Yeah, I just looked at Twitch chat and they're like, don't make people think you can do that. Can the dev brain make it real? No, it cannot. I'm sorry. That's why even when I play games, I just read my cards completely thoroughly.
I mean, there's no substitute for reading.
There's no substitute. That's why you are a real American hero.
That's right.
There's no substitute for reading. Just got word from Tony Konachek. The matchup that's being played on the other table is Haley 3 versus Resheth. So specifically, while they're setting up, let's go. I have all their lists in front of me. That's the Haley 3 Gravediggers list that we featured on the stream the other day. It's Haley 3, Ironclad, Thorn, Maxwell Finn, Hitch, Patrol Dog, Ragman, Double Trenchbuster, Alexia 1, Minimum Commandos with a UA, Express Team, Minimum Infantry with 2 Grenadiers, Maximum Trencher Long Gunners also with their UA. And this is going to be playing against Sam Cameron's Winds of Death Resheth list that has 2 Siege Animantrixes and a Supreme Guardian in it. It's Double Agonizer, Archidon, Basilisk Kreia, 2 Extoller Soul Wards, Venator Dakar, Minimum Beast Handlers, a Venator Catapult Crew, Venator Flare Cannon, Max Slingers, then the Double Siege, and the Supreme Guardian. So here we see the continuing deployment. I like David's army. It's very bright and colorful.
It'll be interesting to see the way that each player deals with the Hellmouth versus the Sentry Stones, because usually when there's only one of those sets on the table, it sort of influences the way the other player plays, and that's why you get them so far forward, and that's kind of what they do.
Yep.
But when they're both there, how does each player handle that?
It's going to be a brawl early on, and you can see he's checking his threat ranges as he's deploying and figuring out exactly where he'll be able to stand as soon as the game begins. So it's going to be a hard matchup, I think, for Michael Stone. But Michael Stone is also, as he showed from our last game we streamed him on, which I think is the first game we ever streamed him on, he's sort of like, he put together a very interesting Rube Goldberg sort of assassination. And I walked over before the game started and I said, "You've got a reputation to uphold now, so don't disappoint us."
Hopefully we'll see some magic.
I want to see shenanigans. Combat 46 on Twitch says, "Triple Warmonger." You are correct. Triple Warmonger in this list. With the new command attachment on one of them. Okay.
And we saw David Smith's list yesterday, and basically what he wants to do is just, he's doing a stat checklist. He puts his guys out there. Can you beat them? And, often the answer is no, and that's why he's here in the semis.
Yeah. David's also been playing the game for quite some time. Remember Texas Games Con 2013 was one of his first big Masters when we were out there, and he was really elated. So he's been doing this since Mark II, and possibly earlier. So we know he's going to have solid placement. He's been doing tons of reps with the list. And yeah, it asks the same kind of question as any of those elite lists, like the Maylok Quad Posse, the Animag list we see running the Double Chosen. It's just, do you have an answer for the amount of hitting power and the amount of wounds I'm bringing to the table?
Right.
Swamp Mist in Twitch chat saying he thinks this is a bad matchup for Michael Stone. We will see how it plays out. Michael has been pretty creative so far in his wins, and he's gotten to the semifinals of the LCQ. Over 120 players in this tournament, so this is round 6 technically.
120 players down to 4 now.
Yep. So the comments that this is probably a bad matchup for Michael Stone, just regarding the amount of hitting power and the volume of attacks he potentially has available to him. It's just a lot to chew through, and he doesn't have a ton of infantry. Also, his footage in this Mirage, you want to be able to cover a lot of the board. He has a smaller model count army. Those are all possibly factors, whereas David has 3 units of Warmongers and then the 2 Hellmouths, so he can cover a pretty wide area. The Blightbringer is going to be a bit of a bear to take care of as well, because it's going to be very well protected behind the... it comes off the base. So it looks like the Brightbringer is walking up and using... Let's see if I can hear which ability they did. Yeah, he's doing the plus strength and armor. Dragon's
Twitch
Breath.
chat is asking who's at the other table. It's Jake Wilstrup and Sam Cameron playing on the other table.
Stub asks, what happens if you win but your army isn't painted? Because the Invitational has previously required painting requirements. I do not know if the Invitational has painting requirements this year. I think it does. Again, I would be surprised if it doesn't. And yeah, I would imagine that if you win with an unpainted army and get in and you have that painted models, you're just going to have to beg your friends to borrow the models. So Dragon's Breath up from the Blightbringer. That's the +2 strength and armor. Affects everyone within his command range, and also if he ever shoots the AoE, which obviously he's not going to take that shot right now. Command range on the Blightbringer is 6, so he's got a big 6-inch bubble of protection. That is the Warmonger Warchief we saw just move up by himself, getting near the flag. Or not near the objective. Didn't catch which objectives they have. I imagine it's probably going to be healing for both of them. Be very surprised if it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so on the map, you'll see the 3 red bases kind of down the center line. Those are the flags. And then in the zones, the red and the yellow ones are objectives.
Dorksim in Twitch chat says, does Privateer Press have a minimum 3 color requirement? It depends on the event. There's different painting requirements. We actually dropped them from Champions, which was one of the last ones that had it. And it's not minimum 3 colors. It is our painting requirements in the events that have them. Basically, the model has to be painted. If leather should look like leather, hair should look like hair, skin should look like skin. You should be able to distinguish everything individually. So it's hard to say a 3-color minimum because you need a 3-color minimum on shifting stones versus, say, I don't know, a trencher, right? Trencher's going to have more than 3 colors. They're going to have metal, they're going to have the cloth, they're going to have belts, they're going to have skin, guns, all kinds of different things. And then it has to be based as well. So we use if you don't think it's painted, it's probably not. See, Michael Stone's rolling for the opening Fury on his Sentry Stones. Thagrosh has Fog of War up. So we've got Fog of War and the bubble from the Blightbringer. Looks to be the only 2 effects in play right now. Let's see, which model is that Michael just moved? Because he moved it in position to get ready to get on the flag when scoring begins. Scoring's not live to the bottom of 2.
Is that the chef? I think it's the chef, huh? Or is it a Wayfarer?
Let's see. Yeah, that's got to be the chef. And so the model I'm talking about, bring up my teleportation. I was going to teleportation instead of telestration because the judge was like, he's teleporting his Sinister Stones. I'm like, let me bring up my teleportation. God, I wish. Yeah, this is the Swamp Gobber Chef. No doubt he's just getting ready to use it to go in on the flag on the next turn when scoring's ready. I wonder if this distance here is 4 inches so that the Sentry Stone can be contested. Jeff19850817 says, Will, if you do this matchup, which side do you take? Are you asking which side would I deploy on the board, or who do I think is the favorite in this game? If you're asking what side is the favorite, I think there's too many variables. I mean, you can obviously have a matchup where you may be a little bit favored based, if you bring an all-range list and your opponent has an all-stealth list and you don't have answers to stealth, obviously they're a little bit more favored than you are. I think Michael's going to have a little bit of an uphill battle simply because of the things we mentioned earlier, the amount of board control that David's got and the amount of wounds he has to get through. But I also think a lot of things like player skill, proper positioning, which is part of player skill, and then obviously just plain old luck, being able to roll well. Also the scenario you end up playing on, it can be a lot of different factors. So it's never as cut and dry as one person just being the immediate favorite over the other. So it's like one Hellmouth tentacle goes down to some mannequins in the woods. This is our forest, Lyle. Get out. Get your weird, gribbly, slimy tentacle out of here.
This forest belongs to animated stickmen.
Looks like a punch went in the first one, then a couple sprays, and boosted, got rolled snake eyes on one of the other tentacles, and got nothing out of it. Checking the threat range on those warmongers. You see Michael Stone's just being really, really conservative with his movements, trying to minimize the amount of alpha strikes that can occur to him. Looks like this is the World Watcher's gun shooting one of the warmongers. Dice off 5. Gets a little bit in there. Oh, it was going on a tentacle, not one of the. He was measuring to the warmonger. So he was measuring the threat range on the warmonger, but actually shooting the tentacle. That makes more sense. Barsk Man in Twitch chat says the Hellmouth versus Sentry Stone slap fight. I think it is a much wetter, weirder fight than that. Yep. Second Watcher walking up, just trying to clear all the tentacles off of the Hellmouth on the top side of the table. Only be able to bring back one a turn. Let's try and limit how much that's able to do. Shot misses. And stone form going up. They've both stone formed. Comes another Watcher. Checking his threat range to the warmongers. Being smart, taking the shots at what he can affect without putting himself in range of just getting murdered by all the warmongers. That AoE that was put down at the top of the table was the force created by the World Watcher's gun, killing that tentacle. World Watcher's shot on the that side of the table misses, and stone forms. It's going to be really interested to see Michael's shifting stone positioning here and what he's setting himself up to do in later turns. Here we see the Freaky Wold White walking up. Michael's basically measuring it 12 inches away from the Hellmouth itself. If you're 12 inches away from the Hellmouth, the tentacles can't get you. More than 12, I should say. With those little mannequins, they're going to get gribblied. Probably. So one of the Wold Guardians just runs, gets up on the objective.
He's also in that teleportation triangle, maybe, for a teleportation later.
Yeah. Yaldo Han says the Freaky Wold Right as opposed to the non-Freaky Wold Right. I mean, you could convert it to be more adorable. Now he's checking the 12 inches on the existent tentacles as well as the tentacle that might come back. A lot of threat ranges here for Michael to take care of. So, Lyle, how do you think these warmongers are going to get deployed?
I think they're already deployed. So I think, you know, as we've seen, they're gonna be deployed in the deployment zone, and then they're gonna move forward. There you go, buddy.
I've ever told you how much I love you. Genuinely.
So I mean, I think they're a little bit. He's got more plentiful forces, so he can afford to spread them out a little bit. He's going to want to concentrate first in his zone, and then he's going to want to push the top side of the map like toward the other zone, I think.
Yeah.
Not in it, not yet. But he wants to start giving Michael Stone some problems over there. And he could do that by moving those guys around the top of that pond on the top of the screen over there.
Yeah, the question really comes is, so you've got the unit up here, right? they're going to need to come around. So they're just sort of inherently going to be putting pressure towards this zone. You've got the middle unit around this area, and then you've got this bottom unit. And I think that's the real question for what David's going to do. Is he just going to try and go straight up the middle and try and fight all these wolds? Or is he going to try and flank around and just come down this way, try and drive the fight this way and have a scrum here? I think you're looking at having basically either the majority of the fight here or the majority of the fight here. And I think because you've got this unit coming down this way, he's going to want to try and push this unit possibly this way and cause the two to converge so that he has everyone here.
Yeah.
So this is sort of what I'm expecting these units to do, but we will see.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he tries to use his numerical advantage to split up Michael's pieces. And the more you can split them up, the more they're going to have trouble like concentrating their firepower, so to speak.
Yep.
And if he does that, then I mean they're still pretty mobile because of all the shifting, shifting stones.
Yep.
But once they're sort of out there and they're out of that shifting zone range, then you have to like reset everything,
And he's
take
got,
away that mobility advantage.
Yep. He's got the 2 units of shifting stones as well. Game state.
Remember the good old days when you could double teleport?
I don't know that those are the good old. I mean, those were good days.
Those are
But
good
I don't
days.
think that's why.
I thought double teleport was super fun.
A couple comments in Twitch chat about the ogres being slow, but they do have vengeance, and that is super, super important. Do need to see if I can figure out which unit has the UA on it, though. Old Gorag Rotten Eye. And that's the other thing for Michael. If Michael plinks away at a couple warmongers here and there, doesn't really commit his force, he is giving basically every unit he hurts a little bit, that extra 3 inches of movement in the vengeance maintenance phase when they vengeance. Even if they don't make an attack, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just the extra movement. And he's also, like I said, when we figure out where Gorag is exactly, we got no quarter available to that unit.
Now, do you think that Michael's playing Wolds because his name is Stone?
Yes, 100%.
I hope so.
100%.
Good.
I mean, I think if this was Iron Gauntlet Season 1 where you could bring dual faction, Michael Stone would be playing the Exalted and Bones of Ouroboros.
Yes.
He would bring double Stone lists. And when people asked him, is that because of your name, he would just stare at them with dead eyes and not say another word and just start playing the game.
Right.
Just intimidate them off the table. All right, so we're back on David Smith's turn, and he is starting off by checking some of his own threat ranges. We see that one of the tentacles has returned, busting up at the ground. Okay. Large base proxy going down for, I think, Golab is what he's trying to measure out here. Okay, so the Blightbringer is going to start off here. Okay, so Blightbringer is going to Dragon's Fire again. He's aiming, or Dragon's Breath, I'm sorry, not Dragon's Fire. So he's got the +2 strength and armor aura. Aiming, and he's taking a shot, I believe, at one of the wolves. I didn't see where he measured to. Yeah, looking at possible shield guard opportunities here. I mean, David can shoot wherever he wants to, but with the amount of shield guard over there, it's kind of just going wherever Michael feels like going it.
Right.
Go. Blightbringer's gun, for anybody at home that doesn't know, it's range 14, AoE 5, POW 15, damage type fire. And it's got 3 possible shots of things it can do based on the AoE. One of which is +2 strength and armor to friendlies within the AoE it shoots. One is that enemies in the AoE cannot cast or channel spells. And the other one is all models in the AoE get concealment. Enemy models without immunity to fire suffer -2 def and lose tough. So shot went in, boosted some damage. Didn't look like he got a ton done there. But trying to get some damage in, because Go Lab's got finisher. You just want it to hit things as much as you can, get a little bit of damage on them. So whenever Go Lab does commit to one of those heavies, perhaps, he's effectively a weapon master. It's going to be super important later on. Okay, Go Lab is not going. It's actually that unit of Warmongers right in the middle of the table. Just running into position. Okay, so that is the unit with Gorag in it. The middle unit is the one with Gorag.
Where is Gorag? Do you see him?
Yeah, I'll pull him up right here. Gorag is right here.
There.
Boop. Okay, so there we see that unit's coming around the water and making their way down. So, you hit me with that the table view there, Lyle. Yeah. So here we see. Remember we were talking about where the conflict is going to occur. So with this unit coming here, this unit coming here. So if this unit comes up this way, then it's kind of what we were saying earlier, that we're looking at the fight kind of happening over in this frontage here. Using the Hellmouth located here to contest this zone with the tentacles. You can get tentacles within 4 inches at various different angles. Anything he gets near there has to worry about these tentacles, and you get to keep popping in. So keeping this flag contested is pretty easy for David. And that lets him bring the main brunt of his forces to bear here. And at the same time, if there's any kind of counter, you've got these tentacles lined up to yank people out of position.
Mm-hmm.
Cheesebeard says, Privateer Press, do you feel a battle like this is possible in the Iron Kingdom setting? What would be their motivations? Well, it's Circle versus Legion. That is one of the easiest ones for them to be motivated. Circle hates Legion and the blighting of the ley lines and everything they do. They are anathema to all natural creation. So I'd say the most common enemy of Circle is Legion. And Legion, they're just jerks. They're just going to kill everybody. So it doesn't matter. Why is Legion fighting somebody? Because Everblight told them to.
Right. So, and it could be like Legion's just here, unbeknownst to like where the ley lines are, or like not because of where the ley lines are.
Yeah.
But Circle's like, oh, we have to protect this territory because there's an important confluence of ley lines right here.
Yep.
So it's time to go to war.
So David clocks the turn back over. So we see this unit basically not even move, hanging back. Thagros still sitting back there with Fog of War, chilling. Got the defensive bonus, the 6-inch bubble coming off the Blightbringer of the +2 armor. So a really conservative turn for that player. This forest no longer exists. That I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. So David's probably being really conservative here because it is Bradigus. Bradigus can get a lot of work done out of Wolds, and he probably doesn't want to throw anything away, but one of them is going to have to commit. And honestly, Michael's got more guns. If it comes down to a standoff, Stone can sit back and just blow guys up if he has to. So when the Blightbringer gun is big, there's enough shield guards where Mike can really push that around where he exactly wants it to be. Get the sprays from the mannequins and then the Wold Watchers up front. You can keep picking apart of that front line constantly. Now, obviously, David might be trying to bait him into triggering a vengeance here, but I think Michael's going to see that coming, so he's going to really pick and choose his targets here. Omnis asks, Hungerford, how badly do you want to see Stone go for another crazy assassination? Hashtag you got to believe. That's all I want to see out of this game. I don't want to see any CP scored. I don't want to see anybody do any peace trading or attrition. I want to see insanity. And I will be disappointed if anything else happens.
Me too. And honestly, this is pretty hard. The way these guys are set up is going to be hard for either of them to score any CPs for a while.
Show
anyway.
me the crazy.
Yeah, let's see something crazy. So Michael's talking about figuring out a way to get a Wool Guardian in there with max synergy on the Blightbringer.
That's what I'm... See, Michael, you are doing the Lord's work, sir. That's exactly what I want to hear. Literally at the table, and y'all can't hear the table mics, but that's kind of how we're able to keep up with things. I believe he was talking about how to take this fella here and shove him directly here. Then kill the Blightbringer there. First, we're going to start with the mannequins attacking the tentacle in the woods, the one that showed back up. No, it was a Wold White doing it to get synergy up to 1.
Yep, synergy's at 1 now.
Boosted the damage on it, didn't break armor, so this is the Wold White with synergy ticked up at 1 here. Going to buy an attack. Hits. Needs a 6 to kill. Doesn't do it on 1 die. Omnis says hashtag mutagenesis for the win. My God, I hope so. Not that I want to see Stone lose. I just want to see something silly happen. Hey, that force is gone. We all like watching good plays where people play the attrition game, properly peace trade, score their CPs, get scenario pressure, and all the things that make War Machine a really great and strategic game. But to me, the most exciting thing are the shenanigans. I love when assassinations come out of nowhere and casters suddenly die. It's one of the things that makes War Machine and Hordes unique. Here comes a spray from the Wold White into that tentacle. Clips the mannequin who's just dead and clips the tentacle. Tentacle is
okay.
not dead. Ooh, Brad, I guess, what are you measuring range to? You have my attention.
Could be thinking about a rift. It's one of my favorites.
I want everyone to just watch David's hands for a little bit. Oh, he stopped. Okay.
So that's a hunter's mark on that warmonger.
I'm so ready. What do you think of No Chosen? Ask your mom Rang. Username on Twitch. What do you think of No Chosen? I think there's many different builds you can do in Primal Terrors. I think some of the more popular ones we've seen is the Double Chosen and the Triple Warmongers. So I think this is just a fine choice. All right, so Wold White is charging the Warmonger for free because of Hunter's Mark. Synergy is currently at 1. He's animusing. He's backing up to stay at maximum melee range and also to not take a free strike from that tentacle right there. Sets the world on fire with the Animus. Charge attack hits. Synergy's at 2. Dice off 5. Hits him for 8 exactly. And Warmonger down. Vengeance is triggered on this unit here. So buys an attack on the tentacle next to him. Hits. Tentacle, the flaming tentacle is dead. Brush Chewer, Sarah, one of my favorite people, says in Twitch, I hope it goes Wold Right for the Wold White. And despite that statement, Sarah is still one of my favorite people. These puns are killing me. It's been a very punny cast in the last couple days. All right, Sentry Stone moved up. Mannequins go up. Here comes some sprays. So we're seeing Michael making the first engagement here. Okay,
So misses both spray attacks there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking for 8s is what he needs to hit with the mannequins going into the warmongers.
The other mannequin's going to spray the same 2 models.
Yep. Yep.
Hits them both.
Yep. So this is dice off 6 here. 5, tough roll.
First guy did successfully tough. And the second guy does not tough. He's dead. Little field promotion.
Look, God 84 says Sentry Stones and Hellmouse on the table. I'm shocked. Look, God 84, you should not be. They are very popular units. Also, earlier in the chat, Barsk Manon said the play is wold tight. You're also on the list now, Barsk Manon. These puns are not acceptable. Okay.
We should start a new Instagram and Twitter account called Wold Star Hip Hop, and it would be the best.
You need to stop. Okay, so it looks like the black-clad Stone Shaper walked up. I believe he gave him the bonus strength, and then the World Watcher's charging the Warmonger. Synergy was at 2. Synergy is now at 3. Obviously, it won't count for this guy, but he's got Synergy 2 for him. PAL 16. Tough check here. Down goes another Warmonger. Turns him into a forest. Okay, so Earth's Blessing and Stone Form go up on the Wold Watcher after turning a Warmonger into a tree. And Synergy is at 3, everyone. Right now, Twitch chat is saying that's a Wold move. Well, would you say that? There's going to be a Wold fight. This is the Wold height of comedy. We're done. Don't take your players for granted. We're double done. Shishinshi, we love our players. We love our community. War Machine Weekend is one of the best examples of it. All community driven. But puns are unacceptable. That's just well known. They did a study. The study was done by scientists. So Bradigus is aiming, shooting one of the tentacles. He gets 1 shot. He's going to pick up a rock, throw it at a slimy tentacle.
And roll terribly.
No. He should still hit. He aimed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably going to boost damage. Rolled 1 too many dice there. Rolled better on the 2 dice. And Bradigus picks up a rock, throws it at a tentacle, and kills it. Welcome to the Iron Kingdoms. Blood God says my sarcasm detector is broken. No. I knew you were being sarcastic. I was being sarcastic back. Omnis says Hungy was a science done in a Go lab. Omnis, you're on the list too. Welcome. Okay, we see a tough check. This is one of the Wold Watchers here taking a shot. shoots one of the warmongers, makes the tough check. Yep, Stone Form Earth Blessing. So that was this World Watcher shooting here. I have yet to see the plan where the Wold Guardian is getting into the Blightbringer, but it might be getting into Golab, though I don't see any sort of charge angle that is reasonable. We'll see, though.
You gotta have faith.
You always have the faith. You have to believe. Okay, Wold Watcher is shimmying. Wold Watcher is going to shoot the tentacle in the woods. He needs a 7 to hit here. Rolls it on the button. Probably going to boost to hit damage, if I had to guess. He is pretty close to see if he's inside the Blightbringer's aura here. So he's out of the aura. Kills the tentacle. Turns him into a forest in the forest.
A forest in the forest.
Twitch chat is going ham with puns right now. Every time I look, I start to feel pretty bad, so I'm going to stop looking. Wold Guardian's moving up there and staying out of the Hellmouth's threat. Doesn't want to get yanked forward. Also confirming that the knockdown warmongers on the bottom circle there are out of Amok's rise, so they're not going to be standing up for free. Game state. Game state. Game state. Game state. So the mannequins at the top are getting in position. It looks like they're going to punch a tentacle. Hits it. Going to probably boost off the Sentry Stone. Be able to get the 2 dice there. POW 11. That'll get it done. Tentacles back out of the woods. Then spray going on Amok. I like it. 7 to hit. Nope. Other one spraying Amok. 7 to hit. Gets it. Boosting damage.
So 3 damage?
So 3 damage on Amok. Barskman on Twitch says he has it on good Facebook authority that some of these factions in the semifinals are no good and they're completely unplayable since this is all staged. That would be hilarious, but as it turns out, don't believe people when they tell you that things are unplayable. I recommend playing as many games as you can and making your own decisions. Never let someone else think for you. So Michael had... Okay, there goes the Gobbershev running on the flag. Yep. So Stone scores 2, David scores 1. David scoring 1 off the flag. Actually, no, scoring 1 off the zone? No, he's scoring it off the flag at the top because it does look like Stone has a mannequin in the bottom zone. So he scored. Stone scored his own zone and the flag at the bottom, whereas David scored the zone at the top with Amok. He was trying to spray Amok off to stop him from scoring any.
Flag at the top, you mean?
Flag at the top, what'd I say?
Zone at the top.
Oh, my God. David scored this. Stone scored this and this. This model stopped David from scoring this. And no one cares about this.
It's the danger zone.
Danger zone. Here come the Vengeance moves. Gorag's unit. We got two Vengeance units, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think anything in the top unit got hurt. So swing going on the stone-formed Wold Watcher by the middle flag. So did 1 point to the one, second hit, did nothing. Auto hitting because of the stone form. Ratbot on Twitch says, whatever army I'm playing at the time is the worst army. It's why I can't win. I have some good news, Ratbot. They did a study. And that is not true. All right, so I'm really interested to see what David's going to do with this turn. I mean, there's no rise here, so he's a little gummed up down here. We've got tentacles coming back, but it's time to push in, right? It's time to get in there. He's a little gummed up here as well. We've got to take this out, but he's got this whole unit to come in there. And I imagine they're probably going to start picking away at the edges here, but I think he has to start getting in the zone. He might need to just get maybe like this Warmonger, and maybe this unit even just runs. And you've got to get a couple bodies here and here to start bringing up the rest of your units behind them. It's time for aggressive play. Swamp Mist says if he wants to see some cited sources on these studies, absolutely not. Believe me, why would I lie to you? Okay, it looks like David forgot to put a tentacle out. And is not being reverted according to the table judge. I'll pull up my war room in front of me. I want to look at the actual language on Hellmouth and see if it is mandatory or not. You can. It is voluntary, so... He's already in his control phase, upkeeping Fog of War. Happens in the maintenance phase, so he missed it, and they're not reverting to take care of it. So Gorag's unit had Draconic Blessing on him. That got dropped. So Thagrosh has got 6 Fury, only upkeeping Fog of War. What do you think, Lyle? What do you think happens, man? If you're David Smith, what's your approach?
So breaking down all those stones?
Yeah, breaking down the stone wall.
Well, I mean, he's going to be able to score his own. He's going to be able to score his own zone, and he's going to be able to score. Does he have a solo that he can get to the top flag?
Well, he has Amok right here.
Amok
so
right
Amok's
there.
right there on this flag, right? He has to contest this zone, and he has to get something in this zone. And if he's able to do that, then he can score 2 and shut down David.
So yeah,
Shut down Stone.
I think he just keeps playing for points, and he has to push that flag down there. I don't know if it's time yet to like invest too much into breaking up that top circle, that top zone, as long as you're keeping pace with scoring yourself.
Sure. What we see right now is that Golab is going into the Wold Watcher, who took that 1 point of damage from the Vengeance move, which is enough to trigger the finisher of Golab, and Golab is going to town right now on the little rock man, beating him to death with his giant beak. He's a giant freaky bird monster, and he's eating a little rock man. Welcome to the Iron Kingdoms. It's basically hell on earth.
So he might be able to score 3 this turn, huh?
He would have to run the Warmonger, Warchief, or Thagrosh onto that middle flag.
Right.
Because I think, let's take a look at his list one more time. That might be the only solos he has. Let me pull his list up in front of me. Where is your list, David Smith? I found it. He has the Warchief and Amok. And that is the only things he has outside of, and Thagrosh that can score the flags.
So it'd certainly be risky to put a war chief out there, and he probably definitely would not want to put Thagrosh that far up right now with all that stone power right in front of his face, all in teleport distance.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing that. You're just dead.
You're just not doing that.
The top unit of Warmongers is getting the press forward order, so it's time to run and charge. You have a proxy model down. Anyone that's wondering, this is not a table marker, so it doesn't count against Michael Stone's limit on table markers. This is a proxy right here for Mannequin because he was having trouble standing up and not falling off of the edge of the lip of the woods. Right. Cha.
Whoa.
You gonna judge call? What they're finding out right now is that if this proxy base here is inside the zone. And they're going to need a judge to go take a look at that. Obviously, it's on top of the woods. It's very, very close. Looking at it, it looks like the answer is probably yes.
Really? Because I would look at it and say it is not in the zone.
JP Great One says, Hunger for Be a Pal and tell us the name of a warlock for the Infernals. Who says the Infernals have warlocks?
They have war bros.
They have war muffins. War bros controlling war muffins. Legionnaires is agreeing with Lyle. I'm sorry that you're wrong, Legionnaires. So, the judge is doing the smart thing, and he's measuring 12 inches across the circle to see if it's in.
Yeah.
Because you know the exact measurement of the circles, and that's how you tell in a situation like that. Looks like the ruling was that it was. I'm getting it now. The answer is he could not make it. It was just outside the zone. Turns out Lyle was right. What I think happened is that you bribed the judge. So. Okay. Blightbringer aiming, shooting the Wool White, doing the Dragon's Breath again. Shield Guard going off. Shield Guard going back there. That's where it's being placed now. David is figuring out who's going to boost damage on. 2 of the mannequins are caught in this, including the proxy.
He's boosting on the proxy base, and it is dead.
Yep. 5 points to the 3 on the Wool White. Wait, is that a Wool White? Yeah, it's Wool White. Just making sure.
Tall, lanky fella.
Cinchertone took 2 points of damage from that. So cleared out 2 of the mannequins with that shot. So Blightbringer's done. Just being a buff aura and taking big shots when it can. Cypher Reno 80 in Twitch is talking about where he feels, he or she, I'm sorry, feels that Signar currently is in the meta right now. It's interesting because we've seen a fair amount of Signar here, including in the Finals of Champions. We were seeing Siege 2 having a great game against, I believe he was facing, I don't remember who he was facing against. I just remember walking by and seeing the Siege 2 player, and it was in the finals, being run by Brent Simon. And, of course, we've got another Signar player running Haley 3 Gravediggers right now as we speak in the other semifinalist. So.
Yep, right on the other side of the bracket.
Okay, looks like the tentacle hit the Wold White and pulled him directly into the maw. Maw managed to bite him. This is PAL 17. Ooh. 13 damage to the 2 from the maw biting the Wold White.
Nom 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 nom.
Any updates on the other table? Hate Me Now asks. Not at the moment. They're still playing. Jake Wolfstrip is looking at the table very seriously right now. Sam Has a smile on his face. They both just playing War Machine and having a good time. Another player caught my eye and is making weird faces at me and just blew a kiss to me. So that's legitimately what just happened when I looked down the row of the other table. I'm not making that up. All right. See the Warmonger unit up top run, and I am legitimately surprised that David is a better player than I am, that they are going sort of this frontage. I expected them to just come down this way, like along this route. So one of them gets his toe in the zone. There is a charge attack on. So this was press forward, not a run. This fella here ended up killing one of the other mannequins. Tony Bronacek, our video producer, went and just got notes. Okay, so they're entering round 3 in the other game. Haley 2 has 2 CPs, the Rocheth has 0. So that means Jake has 2 CPs, Sam has 0, and they're going into round 3 of the other game right now. Okay, looks like our other unit of Warmongers just running. Oh, no, charge attack. Right, put me down to the table view, please, Lyle. I feel like I missed a model moving somewhere. That one right there. There it is. I heard him say charge attack on the objective, and I missed that this fella here just came out of that unit and went into the objective. Seems like he did a decent amount of damage to it, but it's still there. That is the Warmonger Warchief does run up on the middle flag. They're checking to see if the World Watcher is contesting. He is not. That's going to be more points for David. So as it stands this turn, David is going to score the zone, the middle flag, the top flag, contest this, and now we see this unit pressing forward, so they're going to be contesting this as well. We're looking at a turn where David's going to score himself 3 CPs to Woods or Stone's 0. TC Magi says, do they remember the Woolwites have extra armor against fire damage? Didn't hear the exact wording. We do have a table judge there, so between the 2 players and the table judge, we have to have faith that they remember their rules. Yep. So David scores 3 CPs to Stone's 0, making the score now 2 CPs for Michael Stone. No change there. And 4 for David Smith. Stone is on the back foot now.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so we've seen the twigs coming back from the Sentry Stones first. So just by being put back into play, he's already contesting this zone from David. He'll be able to contest this one fairly easily. This is a little harder right up here. To score his own zone, he needs to kill this model and this model. To score his flag here, he has to kill this model. If he's able to do all those things, then we're looking at him scoring 2 to likely David's 1, going 4 to 5, which would put Michael back in a good place. Barks Mannon says in Twitch chat, gonna have to do something with the Hellmouths to stay alive on scenario. That is one of their greatest strengths. They are amazing scenario pieces.
Or you could kill the Warlock.
So, Lyle, knowing that we are not as good players as the pro-level players we see at major top-level events, how would you kill Thagrosh right now?
I would push Bradagus forward.
Okay, so we're pushing Bradagus forward.
Now, not by moving, just, nudge, 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 nudge.
Okay, literally take Bradigus
Uh-huh.
and just pick him up and put him here.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I would put more fury on him.
Okay,
Probably like 4 to 8 more fury.
so this is, let's make like that's a dead face. Let's make an angry face. So this is our Bradigus. And he's got like, what's a good number to you?
Probably 16.
Okay, Bradigus has 16 fury.
Uh-huh.
And he's a huge base now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then what do you do?
Rift.
Rift?
Yeah.
Rift.
And don't forget about synergy and
Synergy on the top.
put all my wolds over there, and just
Jokes all. The Wolds,
Yeah.
mass teleport.
right.
Okay, got it.
And
Then what?
And then just beat them up with synergy stacking.
Right. So then we just draw tiny little X's over his face. And
Now-
then a tiny little frowny face. And so the way that we win is we cheat.
Now it sounds like cheating, but it's not, because we can make the rules.
All right.
So seriously, he did pull off an amazing assassination in the last round, and it wasn't one that you would immediately think was plausible. It wasn't one where you look at the table and you see it happening. So maybe we can see something really cool. It's cooler than CP math, like we were saying earlier in the broadcast. So who knows?
So what we missed while Lyle was explaining his plan to win was the mannequins killed the Warmonger in the woods. We saw Bradigus shift down, still has synergy up capped. So it's still very early in Stone's turn, and it looks like he's kind of doing what we were talking about, is just clearing out the zones and keeping things going. But like was mentioned in Twitch chat by a lot of the viewers right now, those Hellmouths are a major problem and have to get taken care of. They're picking up the old forest tokens from last turn.
I was just, looking at No Quarter 72 and just seeing all the new Colossals and Gargantuas that have rules.
Okay, so the Wold White is moving up, getting in range of that Warmonger right there. Takes a swing, clocks him. Synergy is at 1 now. Fails to break armor. Hits him. Boost damage. Looks like a tough roll. Warmonger is down.
I have to re-put my Pharaoh there. Because the faction of the Pharaoh from a couple of years ago. But they get mostly painted on, it's been a massive.
So he's got that flag cleared, and he's going to be scoring that flag now, the one on the bottom.
For sure. Okay, looks like the mannequins are aiming and spraying. Okay. Okay, so these are, what's happening right now is these mannequins are getting some sprays, hitting Warmongers and the objective. Boosted damage, tough roll was made. One of them falls down, sitting on one box. The objective didn't end up taking any damage there. I think what Michael needs to do is he really wants to clear this guy and try and push him in here. Get that synergy ticked up, get him in there, take out the Hellmouth, clear out the objective. Twitch chat is talking about how conservative Michael Stone is being with his Wold Guardians, how he's keeping them very far back in this fight so far instead of pushing them forward. What do you think about that, Lyle? Do you think it's a smart play to be that conservative, or should they be up there punching things?
No, I think it's smart because he can still deploy them pretty rapidly with his shifting stones. And right now, being held back is kind of like a trap ready to be sprung.
Yeah.
And it's harder to react that way for David Smith.
All right. We see a Wold Guardian walked up, bulldozed the Warmonger back a little bit, and was able to get the Tentacle and the Warmonger in melee range. Punches the Warmonger in the nugget. He's knocked down, so no tough roll. Kills him. Punches the Tentacle and kills it without rolling damage.
And that clears out that zone for him, right? I don't see another Legion model in there.
Rock me with the overhead shot, please, Lyle.
Ka-choo!
Let's never see the overhead shot of what's going on right now. Man, those prime white Wold Watchers are just blinding lights.
I know. They're practically glowing. But hey, they're easy to identify.
Okay, it looks like a Hunter's Mark is trying to be landed on the War Chief here. Misses. No. That was from the black-clad Wayfarer mixed in the middle here.
He is indeed black-clad.
Okay, Stone Shaper at the bottom goes, gives strength to that Wold Watcher we were talking about going into the Hellmouth earlier. Barsman says, that's a Wold Bright. You're fired. Okay, the other Stonekeeper's walking up, giving strength to the other Wold Watcher in the middle. The one at the top is healing the objective D6 and heals it for 4. Nice. Remember, they're friendly faction models. Those guys have repair on constructs. Really good. So Synergy is currently at 2. Both Wold Watchers have Earth's Power for +2, so they're rocking +2s to hit and +4 damage right now. He's checking contest range on the top flag to see where he could stand with the Wold Watcher, so he's being really smart about this. I think we are going to see a turn in where Michael Stone's rocking 4 CPs to David's possibly 4. Okay, Wold Watcher charges in. Has to spend 1. The Hunter's Mark didn't land. Defense 12 looking for a 4. Hits him. Does 5 damage there. Second attack hits because he's mat 8, needing 4s to hit. Nothing. He's going to Animus and Stone for him. Gorag is sitting on 3. That was unfortunate rolling there on Michael Stone's part. This Wold White, oh, he can see the War Chief. That makes a lot of sense, but you're going to get eaten by a Hellmouth. Okay. Charges the War Chief, also has to spend 1 for it because the Hunter's Mark didn't land. Mat 9, because Synergy is at 3, tags him. It's dice off 6. Does 2 points to the War Chief with the charge attack. Second initial hits. Does no damage. So those buffed up Wold Watchers went in. Looks like he's going to Earth Blessing Stone form. And yeah, they did not manage to take out their targets. So that's real unfortunate. They are contesting, which is good. But getting those the 2 solos, or the solo off the flag, 1 of 2 solos off the flag would have been amazing.
Yeah, and that's really fortunate for David because he doesn't have many more solos in reserve to score flags anymore. So if he'd have lost that, he'd have lost a lot of his ability to score.
Yeah. PS17 off 6. You gotta remember that the Blightbringer's Dragon's Breath is up right now. And then Thagrosh has the negative strength aura as well. So for all the bonuses that the Wold Watchers have, there's also a lot of debuffs going on, or I should say buffs on their side. Cerulean asks, has anybody played Mire yet? At the show, yes, many people. On stream, no, not yet. Meyer, I think, takes just the level of testing for a lot of these players, and he was not in a full CID, so they didn't have time to test with him ahead of time. You're probably not going to see him in any stream games. A lot of these pro-level players want to have a little bit more time with him on the table and have some more reps before they commit to putting Meyer down. Now, I say that we do have lunatics that do very well at this game, and they show up and will do anything they want to because they're ballers, so we may see Meyer. I don't know. Stones are teleporting themselves. Okay, Bradigus is activating now, so he had not activated previously. You see, getting in range of the war chief that's in the woods on the flag in melee. He gets three rocks to throw this turn. Boosting into the war chief that's in melee. Needs a 12. Misses. See if he hits his own fella. No damage on his own guy. So he Mystic Wards, Earth Blessing, camps 1. Lord Randall says circles in a bad spot. So Michael Stone scores 2. It looks like it's 4-4 now. And it says circles in a bad place. We'll see. It really comes down to what David's able to do on his turn, how much retaliation he's able to get here. It's going to be a very, very big turn for David. If he's able to pull it off and if the dice are on his side. If they're not, then I agree with you. Michael may be in a tough position. We've seen Michael pull off sheer shenanigans when he's in a tough position. David not forgetting to put the tentacle down this time.
He remembered.
Ross Chewer in chat bringing up an excellent point that Michael's only got 18 minutes left, and this is not going to be a game that ends quickly. They are tied on CPs right now, so we may see somebody clock out if they don't just get overrun or if a wacky assassination doesn't happen. So all 3 units getting Vengeance this turn. That's pretty good. See a Vengeance swing on a mannequin. Sends it screaming to stick hell. Lord Randall in Twitch chat asking, can the top Ogryn see the top Sentry? Well, we'll see after the Vengeance move. Look at David Smith's. David Smith has a little Texas on his jacket. Okay. It's like a swing. Now the middle unit of Ogryns, this is Gorag's unit. They're going to Vengeance. So that World Watch just got moved. There's a proxy base there. Show where it's at. Your mom rang, asked, did he forget a Berserk attack versus the Twig on the bottom? Their Vengeance attacks, Berserk only happens during your combat action, so you're actually safe to do so. Otherwise, Vengeance on Berserking people would suck. So it looks like a little bit of damage being done by Goreg's unit, just swinging at the Wold Watcher that is right where that proxy model is. Your mum ring saying, has been told to him before, just think about it, if you berserked outside of your combat action, you could berserk on free strikes, and that's super weird. I think the game starts to blue screen if that ever happens. Yeah. Hit me with that shot, Lyle. Yeah. Just a good look at what's going on in the middle of the table right now. Okay, so it looks like maintenance phase is done. We're in the control phase now. Look at this little bro. Little gobber chef.
Little Gopper Chef.
He got his little fork, looking at that tentacle, thinking, yum, yum. Well, you can't eat none of that, Gobber Chef. Somebody asked me, where is GoLab? Give me the normal table view if you don't mind, Lyle. GoLab is chilling right here. Right now, the players are just discussing threat ranges, discussing some numbers, getting their information. They're doing threat range math on Bradigus and Wold Watchers and the feet.
Yeah.
So
start to contemplate the feet, move the board around a little bit.
Okay, looks like Thagrosh is sitting on 5 Fury, so we upkept Fog of War and upkept Dragon's Blood. We hear Michael Stone say, I believe the way I have to pull this off is by dicing you. Brusher asks, what is the closest thing to a sheep in the Iron Kingdoms? The closest thing to a sheep in the Iron Kingdoms is...
A sheep.
A sheep. Yep, they are absolutely sheep in the Iron Kingdoms. That is where everyone's sweet wool jackets come from.
There's a great piece of art from the Iron Kingdoms role-playing game core rulebook where a warp wolf is holding a sheep.
Yep. All right. Looks like David's ready to commit. So the top unit of Warmongers are getting a charge order or press forward order. He can now see that the Sentry Stone was asked about earlier in chat. So it looks like one charge went in the Sentry Stone, one went into one of the Wolds, and another one into the Mannequin. That one, I see. That one's charging the Wold Watcher. That is that proxy base. I don't know what that larger proxy base in the way is. Right now, they are sticking to the 2 table marker rule, so there is nothing to correct at the moment. One of them is a proxy base for a model that won't fit, and there's a table marker down from David Smith next to it. So Shifting Stone is finally being hit with a POW 14. Leaves it on 1 box, because you've got to break up those stones. So that was on a Shifting Stone. The Sentry Stone... The Sentry Stone survives. The Mannequin dies. So, wow. Shifting Stone survives. The Sentry Stone survived.
Like a rock.
Like a rock. Oh, like a rock. M33BLE. Meebles? I'm going to go with Meebles. So Meebles in Twitch says, the last few turns of this game are going to be super snappy, or they could clock themselves. I agree. They're going to speed it up. Otherwise, we're losing this game by clock, boys and girls. This charge attack on the World Watcher is occurring. Blast attack from that unit. Does 8 points of damage. So the other charges on the other stones weren't that great, but did a decent amount right there. GoLab now going in on the damaged Wold. Auto hitting finisher is in effect because it did take some damage from that charge. It's dice off 5 here. Did 2 on the first initial. Shrumify asks, as GoLab is killing this World Watcher, as a developer, what are your thoughts on when people win by clock? I feel that you have to have the clock, otherwise the game would stall out, people would take too long. So it's a necessary evil, but I don't think anyone ever wants to get a win by clock. I think we have to have it in tournament play, and I think it is anticlimactic. So it is my least favorite way to see a game of War Machine end, but that does not mean we're getting rid of it. Lightning Strike on GoLab lets him remove. How do you feel about clock wins, Lyle?
You know, that's a good question. As someone who usually watches tournament games through streams because I do so much live streaming work, I really like the tension when the clocks are really low. So that aspect of it I like. I like the tension it creates. But
how do you feel about clock wins, though? Like when the game ends because somebody ran out of time?
yeah, no, that's not preferable. But if you can pull off a quick assassination at the end of the clock, right at the buzzer, that's
Sure.
super sweet.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you there. There's some really sweet, everyone cheers moments. But if it comes down to you won because your opponent didn't, it's the flip, right? I think the flip of how exciting that is just as feel bad.
Sure, yeah.
Pure Stern Mass, is there a clock in Monpok? Absolutely, there is one. But we rarely see people clock themselves in Monpok. And yes, for anyone asking, anyone who tries to purposely manipulate the clock to make their opponent clock by slapping back and forth constantly, there are rules to protect yourself so that your opponent is not eating your clocker with tough rolls. But yeah, that is not something we like to see. When someone uses the clock as their victory condition, that is just, it's a way you can play the game. If you're asking my personal opinion, it is not one I like to see. But that's just my personal opinion. Got the judge involved right now. They're just checking a charge lane right now. Your Mom Ring says, there's no cheese on time wasting and being slow. It's a legit play. I didn't say it was cheesy. Just said it's not what I like to see. For me, War Machine's all about aggression. Get in there, get the job done, beat stuff up, roll dice, kill things, go for cool assassinations, outplay, outskill, outroll. Okay, so we see the middle unit. This is Gorag's unit charging the Wold Watcher right there on the middle flag. Okay, auto hitting because of the stone form, but they are armor very high right now. It's dice off 5. Less than that because Blessing actually was not on. Blessing had been moved over to look like GoLab actually from that unit earlier on. So. Okay. So Gorag's unit partially went into that Wold Watcher. The other ones went in the middle. Looks like one of the shifting stones just went down to actually Gorag himself, then berserking into the Wold Guardian to get some more damage in. Cheesebeard says, does anybody know what David Smith is pairing this Thagrosh list with? Yes, absolutely. He's playing Fianna in Oracles as his other list. All right, looks like one of the tentacles hit the Wold Guardian and has dragged him all the way over the Maw. Now getting hit in with the Maw. Things are starting to look really bad for Michael Stone now. And Blightbringer has not activated yet, and it will likely make very short work of the Wold Guardian. So Thagrosh activates and Draconic Blessings the Blightbringer, recasting it off of GoLab onto the Blightbringer. I bet the Blightbringer is going to move up and try and get the Wold Guardian and the Wold Watcher in melee, and then proceed to beat both of them directly to hell.
Directly to hell.
Directly to hell. You get this sweet nappy time shot, like you're napping on the table, like your head's rested right.
Yeah, this is the head down view.
Yeah, like your head is there on Michael Stone's shoulder. You're just taking yourself a little nap, and you're looking over and you're being like, hey, bro, it was looking real bad right now. I think that Blightbringer is going to beat your guys to death. Just going to have myself a little nap and think about birds. They're using a proxy base to see if he can get reach to both. And obviously, Blightbringer is a big, fancy model, so I want to be very precise with this. Players agree that he's able to get reach on both. And so now we're going to see the Blightbringer. It's going to warp for the Strength and Armor, doing the Dragon's Breath again. Facing straight ahead. It hits. I didn't catch who he was attacking first. So we're just going to see as David makes his attacks and see at the end of it what gets picked up here. So it looks like the first two attacks went on the Wold Guardian. The left claw went into the Wold Watcher, buying an attack on the Wold Guardian, who did a substantial amount of damage to. The left claw only did 1 point to the Wold Watcher. Just did 10 to the 4 on the Wold Guardian. Buying another tail attack. Rolls Snake Eyes, only does 2 points of damage to the Wold Guardian. Buys a third tail attack on the Wold Guardian. Oh, he is down. Likely just going to buy another attack on the Wold Watcher if I had to guess. Okay, David decides to not buy any more attacks and just leave things where they are. So he's not worried about buying another attack on the Wold Watcher in the woods. That's an interesting choice there, deciding not to push his luck any further with the amount of fury he's got on the board to possibly finish that off, given the amount of wounds that had left. So now we see the unit of Warmongers on the bottom. They're just advancing, getting in contest range of that bottom flag to stop Michael Stone from scoring with the Swamp Gobber Chef. There's a knocked down Warmonger. Looks like the mannequin is hit. Kills it, berserks into the Wold White. Hits the white. Dice -1. Does 6 points of damage to the Wold White. Other fella just stands up. No feats have been used this game, for Twitch chat asking. Lyle, do you think Thagrosh is going to go in there and get the job done himself on that Wold White on the middle flag?
I mean, I wouldn't. Because he's still got, I mean,
Yep.
Michael Stone still has some stuff to work with, right? And you don't want to force him into a desperation play where his best choice to do is make an assassination run.
Yeah. So what we just saw there was the tentacle from that Hellmouth pulled in the beat up Wold White and killed it. So everything is contested but the top flag. So the score is now David Smith 5 CPs, Michael Stone 4 CPs. And that is now the bottom of round 4. We are not seeing round 7 in this game. There's not enough time left on the players' clocks, especially what they've got left. So this is going to come down to clock or assassination. Or somebody runs out of resources here in probably these 2 turns. And the judge reminding that the tentacle that yanked in the Wold White is gone. Gets removed when it does so. Cheesebeard says he would like to see Thagrosh 1 get involved, but as Lyle said, moving Thagrosh 1 forward, while exciting, probably gets him killed. The CP score is 4-5. Michael Stone has 4. David Smith has 5 CPs.
Would you have used that extra attack on the Blightbringer to kill that World Watcher in the middle?
I don't remember how much gold. I think he left it at because he did not want to risk any possible frenzies on one of his 2 beasts, and he had no way to manage the Fury.
Yeah.
With as much as he wanted to be able to camp on Thagrosh. So I think it's the more conservative play. It's a smarter play. I am neither conservative nor smart, so I absolutely would not have done it. But then again, my Thagrosh would be halfway across the table, and my Thagrosh would also be a Barnabas too. So... So the objective healed the Sentry Stone during the maintenance phase. We saw a new mannequin get put into play. Fury is leached. Synergy is upkept. Yep.
He's still got 2 Wold Guardians.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's got the Swamp Gobber Chef right here that's going to charge this guy and just blank him.
I've seen stuff like that happen.
And then this little fellow runs up and goes, I'll hold the flag for you, bro. Holy crap, is that actually about to happen? I was just joking. Don't. What? Oh, he ran. Why would you could... Oh, he's just walking up and stabbing. It hits. Now he's in the aura of Thagrosh.
Forza
the tough check.
He did it.
Oh, my God. Well, we're done. I don't need to commentate anymore. It's been a good game, everyone. Thanks for watching us here on the round. I don't care who wins. I just watched the Swamp Gobber Chef backstab a warmonger to death.
Look, people don't know
Yes.
Swamp Gobber Chef tech.
They don't know about that tech, dog. All right, so Mannequin is aiming, spraying the warmonger in the Hellmouth. You need more Swamp Gobber Chefs in your list, bruh. Hits the warmonger. Rolling to hit the warmonger. Hits. Pushed in the adventure. Gets a tough check of the warmonger. Warmonger goes down. Knocked down again. Tough rolls for days. Okay, shifting stones are teleporting aggressively. So now clearly what we're going to see happen is we're going to see this Stone Shaper come up on this flag to hold that, scoring Michael another point. That's just a gimme.
Right.
He's not getting this no matter what. He's not getting this no matter what. He's not getting this no matter what. It's just not happening this turn. He doesn't have the resources for it. He might be able to destroy the objective. That is a real possibility with this Wold Guardian, but we'll see. Okay, see a tough check coming in on another Warmonger. Warmonger there. That's being killed by one of the mannequins. Shifting Stone teleporting. Keeping range to his mannequin. They got the job done with the spray. Both players starting to whittle down on their resources pretty heavily. We hear Michael leans in and goes, okay, I got to get work done.
What do I do now?
I mean, you still got GoLab, the Blightbringer to deal with, and you might have to deal with GoLab twice. You can RFP with the World Watcher's Fist, but you've only got one left. Okay, we see another Shifting Stone unit teleporting in, starting to gum up around the middle flag. He wants to really contest as best as he can. This is a black-clad Stone Shaper walk-up, and he's going to hose down Gorag and the Tentacle. He misses Gorag with Snake Eyes. He misses everything under the spray.
All the misses.
All the misses. You done goofed. All right. I'm just going to, while he's thinking, gonna watch David's hands here. Just see what's happening. Just playing with some dice. We have a strength given to this Guardian here. Just keep watching. Keep watching. Okay, Hunter's Mark going to the Blightbringer. It hits. Blightbringer is Hunter's Marked. I'm just watching David spin his dice. Don't know why it's so fascinating to me, but it is. Okay, so Wold Watcher in the middle attacked. Didn't get any damage done, did hit. Synergies ticked up to 1. Stone Form, Earth Blessing. Measuring distance to GoLab. Him not taking out any of those Warmongers. They are so gumming up that Wold Guardian there. And I think the Shifting Stones got broken earlier, so you're not teleporting out of it. And as you're all playing, I want you to keep your eyes in this area of the table because the clocks are running real low. So Michael Stone is officially hitting the 10-minute mark. He has 10 minutes left to finish this game out.
It's 4:50. It's almost time to clock out.
What? I don't even know what that means, bruh.
So you clock out at 5 o'clock. So it's 4:50. He's got 10 minutes left.
Oh, Lyle. What would we do without you, Lyle? Looks like the Wold Guardian is punching bros. Yeah, I'm going to trigger a beat back. Oh, this is Bradigus getting in there and getting work done. So Bradigus boosts damage, and Warmonger is dead. You're buying an attack on Gorag. He jumped the wall and is in melee right now. Hits. He's trying to decide if he's going to boost damage or not. But Michael, you don't have much time left to make those decisions, my friend. You could see him. You can read his lips doing math. Gorag's got 3 left. Michael's got to decide if he's going to spend 1 to boost damage or just try and hold and roll. He's rolling dice off 5. Needs an 8 to kill. He's going to try and hard roll the 8. He does. Tough roll. Fails. Gorag goes down. The Earth Blessing on Bradigus is cast. He feats. Feat is active. He's going to feat for 5, and here they come. Michael says, well, I already said 5, having already moved the model. It feels like maybe that was a mistake he did not want to do. And we hear him lamenting the decision to go 5.
What would we have wanted to do instead?
Well, I think he just realized that the Wold Guardian was going to hit that stone, and now it's going to get pushed back 5 inches, and that is absolutely not what he wanted to have happen.
Nope.
The stone was in the way, and I think has completely wrecked his entire plan. Oh, the glasses come off. So, yeah, the problem that he... So, Michael Stone says, David, do you mind if I take this back? If we can get it all back to how... And David says, if we can put everything back to how it was, I don't mind at all. You can take that back. David Smith, amazing sport. That was a mistake that could have cost Michael this entire game, and David is just being totally chill about it and being like, dude, it's all good. So instead, it looks like feet. It's hard to tell if they did the feat for 1 or not. I don't think they did, but they just did a rewind. Again, as the judge, we're only here to resolve disputes or to remind players of mandatory things. If the players both agree for a take-back or something like that, they're totally allowed to. So I think that was a feat for 1, but it's hard to tell.
Now they're checking to see if there's a charge lane to the Blightbringer.
So yeah, it looks like that was a feat for 1, just to get the extra inch to get up there, to get within the 9 charge range to get into the Blightbringer. Mm-hmm. Now they're seeing if they actually have a charge angle that clears the shifting stone.
And that shifting stone was placed there earlier this turn, so that placement could possibly cost him.
Now, I heard some clapping going down the other table, so while the judges are resolving this, we're sending Tony Bronacek to go check and see if we have results from the other game and find out who won between Jacob Wilstrup and Sam Cameron. Haley 3 versus Resheth. Signar or Scorn.
The judge is confirming that the feat was changed to a feat for 1.
Okay, so even after reverting and then changing the feat to 1, there was no charge lane, so the Wold Guardian still couldn't get on the Blightbringer because the shifting stone was in the way by the judge's ruling.
Right, and again, that shifting stone was placed there this turn, so just a little bit more careful placement on that shifting stone would have made all the difference on that play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Michael Stone. Okay. Just got the word that Jacob Wilfstrop playing Signar, Haley 3 Gravediggers, won the other semifinal match. Will be going into the finals of the LCQ. He won on control points.
So the British invasion rolls on.
Yeah. But it looks like it's probably more than likely going to be the British invasion versus the Texas invasion here in a second. I do not see many outs for Michael Stone here. So the Wold Guardian that was unable to charge walks over and is just going to kill a Warmonger in the zone. Tough check. Oh, no tough check because he got knocked down from Ram. Healing damage off the objective with the Stonekeeper. Michael, buddy, you don't have this kind of time. You need to execute your plan and move on. Feet goes off to get pushed back an inch. So, Circle scores 2, Legion scores 1. The CP score is tied up 6-6. Scoring, that would have been the bottom flag, his own zone and for Michael Stone, and then the top flag for David Smith. David Smith's turn starts. Putting the tentacle back in play. He's definitely not going to forget to do that again after that happened once this game. They're removing a proxy base that is kind of irrelevant at this point. The time crunch is on, and I think things are about to get real gross. I think we're about to see both Wold Guardians go down this turn. Tentacles in place. We're going to see the Vengeance moves occur. That Tentacle is absolutely going to be able to pull that Wold Guardian over into the Hellmouth, and the Blightbringer is going to continue to be able to fight both the War Beasts right there. So all the Vengeance moves are taking place.
Look how much smarter David is than us. Not trying to kill that World Watcher in the middle, because now it's academic, right? Like, it's not a problem this turn, and it wasn't a problem last turn, really.
Yeah. It's like we said, these pro players, we may make the game, but we understand that the pro players, they're better. They're better. I can DQ them all.
Right.
I'll always beat them.
Look.
They are better players, but they can't beat me.
Right. No one can beat you.
I know. They'll always lose before they get close. I'll DQ them. I'm drunk with power. Who's going to stop me?
Nobody.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me. All right. So here we see. These are the Vengeance attacks being resolved by the Warmongers. Okay, maintenance phase is done. Control phase is starting. Fury's pulled in. Looks like there's no chance of any frenzy checks, so David Smith's conservative play, like you mentioned, working out great. Both spells are upkeep, so the Blightbringer still has Draconic Blessing on it. Draconic Blood, I'm sorry. Or Draconic Blessing. Man, I always get those mixed up. Let's look at that real fast. The Blightbringer still has a Draconic Blessing on it. Fog of War is still on Thagrosh. Winner of this, Andy OFD in Twitch chat says, is the winner of this playing Jake in the finals? You are correct. We'll be playing Jake Wilstrup from York, England in the finals of the LCQ. Looks like this Warmongers took a free strike from the Wold Watcher. And didn't kill him, so he doesn't care. He was charging the Wold Guardian over here. The other Warmonger looks like he's charging the Shifting Stone, the one that's causing Michael so many problems during his turn. Shifting Stone is dead. Berserk goes nowhere. Charge on the Wold Guardian. Hits. Does 5 damage to the 4 on the Wold Guardian. The Blightbringer is... Oh, the Blightbringer's going to shift over there. So you can let Golab take care of the other guy. Got it.
Golab's got it.
Blightbringer, just, again, currently Draconic Blasting, is going to Warp for Dragon's Breath for +2 Strength and Armor, bubble around him. Going after the Wold Guardian first. Gordian. Does 12 to the 2 with a boxcar damage roll. Does 8 damage with the second initial. We see Michael just shaking his head at these damage rolls. Claw on the Wold Watcher. Does 3 to him. Buys a tail on the Wold Guardian. Does 9 more damage to the Wold Guardian. He's dead. Buys a tail in on the Wold Watcher. Four damage on the Wold Watcher. Still got 14 left on the little guy. Buys another attack. Buys another attack. Going all in. These are all auto-hitting because he's stone form. Does 9 damage to the 2. Leaves the Wold Watcher in the zone on 1.
Still alive.
Okay.
Oh, now he's gone.
Yep. Tentacle hits on the main Wold Guardian. Hits him. Drags him in. Maw hits him. Let's dice off 3 on this. He's in the Blightbringer aura, so does 3 points of damage. Now Golab is just going to fly over into the Blightbringer's aura, +2 strength. Now with Finisher on this damaged Wold Guardian, and no doubt finish him off, allowing David to score the middle flag, his own zone, and the top flag. He's still got more to do, and he better hurry up. We see that Thagrosh is activating now. I can't see him to be able to juggle the Draconic Blessing, the Hellmouth and the Whale. So he actually just discards 1 Fury. Correction. Thanks, Twitch chat. The Dragon's Breath from the Blightbringer is only on warrior models. Doesn't affect Golab, but he still flew over there anyway. Kranich 16, you're right. I was talking about Golab getting it. My bad. We see Golab is attacking with Finisher. David, you're about to hit the 5-minute mark, and you still have you got a few things left to do, my friend. Wold Guardian's only got 3 left. Hits him. Last attack. Finishes him off. We see Warmongers getting the press forward order. Charges the objective. Does 3 points to it. It's been fully healed at this point by the Stone Shaper. War Chief moves over, attacks the stone, auto hits it. Finishes it. No order to Berserk. Bottom of his zone, though, is still populated. Oh, he's going to clock back. They're pausing to correct the score. So Looks like Michael Stone scored 1. David Smith should be scoring 2 here. So the final score should be right now 7 for Michael Stone, 8 for David Smith. Both Sentry Stones get 3 Fury. Michael splashing the pot there a little bit with the Fury points. And he quickly corrected it and fixed it like a gentleman. All right, Michael, you got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to pull off the coolest assassination I've ever seen. I'm ready. When
So
people
what's he got
point like
left
that,
to work with?
nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, what he has left to work with, he's got, right? You've got a unit of Shifting Stone, or Sentry Stone. You've got Shifting Stones here. You've got the Baller Gobber.
Right. I mean, you could see a Gobber Shaft assassination.
Basically, you have a bunch of support units and Bradigus. So, looks like the Shifting Stones are just moving right now. He does have Blackclad Wayfarer. Blackclad, Stones move over to him. He teleports across the board using phase jump. Mannequins are going to aim. They're going to try and finish out some more Warmongers here. 6 to hit. Hits. Boosting damage. Dice off 6. Does 2. Boosting to hit. Hits. Does a tough check. 8 damage. Kills him. Michael is tapping the clock back for the tough checks now to save himself a little bit of time. But really, it's just a die roll.
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
4:58.
Yep. Boxcars, tough check. Guy's dead. So, good job. So, mannequins at the bottom are charging the objective. Auto hitting. They're -2 to strength because of Thagrosh's aura. Dice off 9. So 6 damage to the objective with a nice high roll. Gobber walks up, stabs the Warmonger, misses.
Under 1 minute left on the clock.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Stone Shaper moves up, sprays. Golab is hit, Warmonger is missed. Pow 12. Dice off 5. Does 1. Bradigus runs behind the wall, checks kill box. Earth Blessing.
Whew.
Circle scores 2 CPs. Michael Stone goes to 9. David stays at 8.
You feel that tension?
Where did he get the Earth Blessing from? You pull up Bradigus for me. I don't see any Wold Watchers on the table. I'm going to go correct their table real fast because I don't think they caught it. Looks like the score's 8 to 8 because there's no actual unit in the top zone, not all completely. So I'm going to check about the Earth's Blessing real fast.
So Thagrosh is at full fury. And he's not upkeeping anything, I think.
First blessing is gone. Simple mistake. And so, yeah, score is 8-8. Thagrosh is activating. Thagrosh about to bop himself a bop himself a Black Cloud Wayfarer. Boof, make himself a clown. Yep. Golab now has Draconic Blessing. Golab's charging the injured objective. Dice off 2 here. Yep. David scores a CP.
Yep.
Goes to 9 for killing the objective. He's going to use Lightning Strike to just shimmy. Warmonger just runs. Contesting the flag at the bottom. Stays in command of the other one. He's going to punch the chef. Misses, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but Gobber chefs are unkillable. So they're doing the scoring. They're confirming the score. They're saying they're at 8-9. They're saying that David is up by 1, and that's what is happening. So
yeah.
We'll just leave the CP score as it is for right now. A little bit of confusion. Boosting damage on the objective. I don't think this is doesn't really matter anymore, Michael. Like, you gave it a really good run, my friend.
Woo.
Michael passes the turn with 1 second to see what the CP score is, activating only the Sentry Stones and trying to kill the objective. They call it there. Yeah. So game ends with David Smith winning. Stone losing by 1 CP and also clocking out. So it just came down to time. Very, very close game. Played well by both players. Just the attrition machine of David was really strong and really hard for Michael to overcome. And we kind of had a couple people thinking it was going to be a bad matchup at the beginning, but Michael gave it a really great shot.
Yeah, he put in a great game.
Yeah.
But now David Smith gets to advance to the LCQ finals.
Yep.
Where he will play against Jake Winthrop next round.
Yeah.
And we'll have that in just a few minutes.
Yep.
That game is already wrapped up, so we just have to get everything reset for that game, and we will be coming right back at you with the LCQ finals. It's going to be me and Will Pagani with our guy Tony over here.
Yeah, Tony Bronichev. And we're going to see David Smith face off against Jake Wilstrup, and that'll be Legion versus Signar.
That's
so
right.
Should be a good match to watch. I'm going to go eat some food instead.
All right. Stick around.
See you later.
See you later.